This is a warning to all Tesla stock investors. We have a lot more Tesla and Elon Musk news coming out. Elon Musk liked a post that says Elon re-enters wartime CEO mode. I actually like Elon Musk being in this mode, and if you appreciate daily Tesla stock news from me, please click the like button. The post says, this scene is familiar to the veterans of the Tesla community. Today, Elon decided to bet the entire company on robotaxi. I don't know if all in robotaxi is right or wrong. I don't have the answer, but Elon Musk did like this post. And we got more news coming out about the next generation vehicle. Tesla puts the $25,000 electric car codenamed NV9 on back burner despite what Elon Musk said. Electric says they can actually confirm it. And remember what I said about the Reuters report? I thought there's something to it. Tesla didn't necessarily scrap the project, but it's on the back burner. And Elon did not say that this report is false, and him liking that post about him betting the whole company on the robotaxi project would further indicate that Electric's report is indeed accurate. I personally, though, still think that the $25,000 vehicle will be developed, and I did also see some people that know some Tesla employees saying that the project is not canceled. Tesla will still do it, just later, basically. Although at this point I would consider that speculation. Tesla is putting all resources into its self-driving effort. According to electric sources, Musk told Tesla's team in Austin in December of last year that NV9, an expansion of Gigafactory Texas for the new, cheaper next generation model, was a priority for 2024. So that's the $25,000 car. However, the project was recently completely defunded and many people involved in it were laid off as part of the round of layoffs announced yesterday now. Instead, Musk said that he wanted Tesla to focus on the south expansion of Gigafactory Texas, which is going to house a giant data center for the robotaxi project. And according to electric sources, it is already behind schedule and there is serious doubt that it can be completed by the end of August, which is the timeline Musk has been pushing for. But we know that Elon is very ambitious with his timeline, so I don't see any problem with that. But we know that Elon Musk has made the date public, August 8th. So this is a warning to all Tesla stock investors that Tesla definitely is prioritizing the robotaxi and is putting the next generation vehicle for now on the back burner. I don't think it's canceled, and if FSD is not solved or made safer than human driving this year, I think Tesla will still build that car. But it's pretty clear at the moment that most of Tesla's resources are being poured into FSD and robotaxi. And I have been driving on FSD and I am quite impressed, especially with the pace of progress. Also, I just got the newest FSD version. I'm going to try that today, 12.3.4, so I'm looking forward to that. Gary Black is not exactly thrilled about this news. He says it's not good for Tesla's PE, if true. And what do I think about where we are at currently?
It could drop lower. There's a good chance it will. Most likely, actually, it will drop further.
This was from a video I made about a year and a half ago when Tesla stock was at $300 split adjusted. And if you watched all of my old videos, then you will remember me saying that the reason why I personally didn't sell is because my research shows that full self-driving will be safer than human driving before 2030 ends. If I did not hold that view, I would not have been in Tesla stock with all of my stock portfolio. I would have still owned some Tesla, but it wouldn't have been all in only Tesla stock in my stock portfolio. My position today remains the same. I believe Tesla will solve full self-driving before 2030 ends. And it's amazing that after all of the news recently, Tesla stock is still not near $100, which is when I was extremely excited about Tesla stock, when everyone else was panicking and losing their minds. So I am staying, but this is a warning to Tesla stock investors that you might see some Tesla bulls that have been bullish about the stock suddenly start leaving the stock or selling some, because some of them will be thinking that they're getting something that they didn't really fully signed up for. To those people, I would say, did you try FSD V12 yourself? If you haven't, I highly recommend that you do. And I think what's even more important than that is to try V11 and understand how fast Tesla made so much progress. So assuming that that progress will continue, it's difficult to make a strong argument Why wouldn't Tesla solve full self-driving? I'm not talking about this year, but I'm talking in the relatively medium to long-term future. I just don't see how Tesla eventually does not solve full self-driving. V11 has been able to perform some very impressive driving maneuvers, but it would make a lot of mistakes. V12, on the other hand, can consistently perform impressively. It does still make mistakes, but these are nowhere near as often or as common as they used to be. All-in Tesla stock investor Jason DeBall commented, "This is another massive transition period for Tesla, which increasingly appears to be another bet the company moment on FSD. There's no guarantee that robotaxi will work the way we all expect, but it's more likely than not. All of this hinges on a small team of AI engineers at Tesla. I hope there's a solid milestone-based compensation plan for all of them, as I believe they are the most important people at the company right now." I fully agree with that. And if you remember, Elon did say that it was important to increase their compensation, and with the layoffs, I think that is happening right now. Tesla will be able to put some of the cash that it's saving from the layoffs towards the people that work on Tesla's AI. I'm glad that Tesla appears to be on war footing again. Wartime CEO with wartime employees. I hope to see a more publicly visible focus on Tesla from Elon while maintaining his position as the most powerful voice for freedom of speech in the world here on X. The 10% of Tesla employees that were let go would probably be in that top 20th percentile at any other company. They are highly valued by employers. Tesla just has a different level of employees, and that's why I hold the stock. To invest in a wartime company, you need to become a wartime investor. If you are doubtful, this doubt arises from fear, and all fear comes from believing that you will not get what you desire. Now is probably a good time to reduce your desires and expectations, as this will reduce fear and doubt. Make conservative financial plans for the rest of the year. I'm preparing for more wild price swings this year with Tesla stock. And this is another warning to Tesla stock investors. I expect price targets to be reduced by many Tesla stock analysts. We need to hear the rationale for the cost-cutting, the strategy going forward, product roadmap, and an overall vision from Musk next week on the call. Otherwise, many investors might head for the elevators during this Category 5 perfect storm of weak demand Tesla is seeing globally. Elon is betting the company on autonomy. Has he lost his mind? But what do you expect from a guy who bet his whole car company in 2003 on electrification? Now, typically when layoffs are announced, often the markets cheer and the stock rallies, but not this case with Tesla. Tesla was down yesterday. However, the markets were down yesterday, although Tesla stock was down a bit more. But just remember that if the market was not down yesterday, the stock would not have dropped as much as it did yesterday. So it's not all just Tesla. Electric reports that Tesla heads are rolling over critical projects at Gigafactory, Texas. We learned that Anthony Thurston, senior manager of cathode materials and manufacturing at Tesla, who was reporting to Baglino regarding the cathode factory project, also is no longer with Tesla. A person familiar with the project described the project as a financial black hole. The factory is meant to supply Tesla with processed cathode material for its own battery cell production at Gigafactory, Texas, and Elon Musk is reportedly unhappy with the progress at the plant, and heads are rolling. It's unclear if Baglino was let go or left on his own amid the layoffs. Yeah, Elon's going hardcore here. We also know that the layoffs are happening in China as well, not just in North America. I have also seen some people say that not just the bottom performers were cut, but Elon once said that if you don't hire people back after a cut, you likely didn't cut enough. So unless someone was specifically fired for terrible performance, I would expect some of these people to actually be hired back. There have been so many changes at Tesla that Sawyer thought it's important to point out that Lars, the VP of Vehicle Engineering, continues working at Tesla. Here's what James expects to hear next week on the earnings call. Revenue doesn't matter, margin doesn't matter, volume growth doesn't matter, net income growth doesn't matter, new cars don't matter, new factories don't matter. Only thing that matters, fleet miles driven on FSD, supervised, and robots. If it wasn't for FSD, I would not have remained in Tesla stock all in with my stock portfolio. So if Elon does say that, is he really wrong? If Tesla really solves FSD before the end of 2030, I think we're all good and we'll be looking at juicy returns. But Gary thinks this would be a big mistake if Martin Viecha allows Elon to go down the path that volumes, margins, and earnings don't matter. That would demonstrate a total lack of understanding of the average Tesla stockholder. But yeah, I definitely agree with James here. I don't think Martin has any control over Elon. Zero. Dylan had a few things to say. I learned that Tesla restructuring to stay lean and to double down on autonomy, AI, and robotics. The best path that Tesla has to a multi-trillion-dollar valuation is a sign that Tesla isn't fit to run Tesla. Sawyer put together a quick history of Tesla layoffs. We had 2% laid off in 2017, 9% in 2018, 7% in 2019, 10% of salary workers, so 3% of the total global headcount in 2022, and now 10%. So it's not small, but you can see the pattern here. It's a regular thing that Tesla does. And here's how that looks on a chart. You can see a lot of growth, and these job cuts, you can sort of barely see them, relatively speaking, in terms of the growth. But of course, if you are in that 10%, it sucks. Oh, we got some breaking news. A man fired from the job hates a boss who fired him. We'll have more on the story as it develops. A Tesla manager who was let go today described Elon Musk to me as a pigeon CEO. He comes in, poops all over us, and goes to accomplish impossible things. Launch reusable rockets, push the whole industry towards electrification, and now build FSD with just mostly the vision approach only. So it has been working for Elon, but of course with a lot of bumps along the way. China reported sales for the last week, and the number is at 6,000. But inventory industry-wide is rising. Tesla isn't the only one with rising inventories. Even if Tesla ended Q1 with 140,000 in inventory, that represents 30 days of inventory. Tesla still has industry-low inventories when measured in days of sales. Wow, new vehicle inventory is up 50% from last year. Days of supply, that number sits at 73, 30% year-over-year increase. Here's Gary's take why deliveries growth has suddenly stalled in 2024 after rising 38% last year and 49% compounded since 2019. Number one, early adopters have already bought EVs, and now Tesla needs to have rational pragmatists buying. Potential EV buyers not realizing how inexpensive Teslas have become. Many consumers don't want to drive the same car everyone else is driving, and more EV choices. And he doesn't believe that Tesla's brand has been really affected by Elon's personal brand, and he doesn't think that higher interest rates have really slowed down the growth because the economy is growing and unemployment is low, and also BEV adoption continues 15 to 20% year over year, excluding Tesla. For some time yesterday, Elon Musk changed his X profile photo to this photo, and there was this word left in there, auto. Now, many people speculated that he was just taking a screenshot on his iPhone and the iPhone automatically displayed the word auto, so it's no big deal. There's nothing here. However, Grok thinks it had to do with going all in on autonomous vehicle tech. So was it intentional or by accident? Elon says he left it there on purpose, further implying that indeed Elon is really focused on autonomy going forward. Currently, Q1 EPS estimates are at 35 cents and they are dropping. Omar writes, over the weekend, Gordon Johnson posted a video of FSD 11 running a stop sign, claiming it meant I was lying about FSD 12. What he didn't tell you, when we retried it on V12, FSD handled it perfectly. The remaining FSD deniers are either incredibly stupid or dishonest. In Gordon Johnson's case, he is both, he says. Gordon Johnson then blocked me before I could respond to the tweet. The amount of FUD and BS being pushed by bears makes me excited to watch them humiliate themselves again. Oh, we have some breaking news. 37 new Model 3 Ludicrous were spotted being prepared for export in Shanghai. You can see the red brake calipers, new wheel design, and spoiler. Official unveiling seems to be imminent. So this is good news. And Cybertruck is getting some new updates for spring spring 2024. Interestingly, the turning circle is now improved by 1.6 feet. So the car literally just got noticeably better. Also, an update is going to all other Teslas. Oh, Audible is now available as a native media app. I definitely appreciate that. I listen to Audible books all the time, and I love this. Preview of Sentry mode recordings will be sent to your phone if alarm is triggered by pressing and holding notification. I like this feature. An increased regenerative braking on highway is available now for Model S's and X's. Nice. Is this Cybertruck after a software update? I like these posts from Tesla. Wes from Tesla says, the update that's rolling out to the fleet makes full use of the front and rear steering travel to minimize turning circle. So probably we shouldn't expect another update to increase the turning radius. But it's a bit difficult to get better than this. I mean, this is already pretty good. I know it's on snow, but still, it's impressive. Ford halted their F-150 Lightning pickup truck sales earlier due to a quality issue, but now the sales have been resumed after 9 weeks. The prices are now lower too. Cybertruck is definitely putting pressure on Ford here. Is this breaking news? The auto wipers are perfect now. I'm gonna go try. It's not raining today here in Vancouver, Canada, but it often does. Elon said, cool, sorry it took so long for the auto wipers to work. Well, harder than it seems. I think CEO Mark Ryan is definitely right here. Tesla's doubted to proving doubters wrong ratio has got to be one of the all-time greatest. His current favorites among doubters are, number 1, autonomy will never happen. Tesla is last. Number 2, bot is a stock pump. Number 3, storage is a joke. And number 4, EVs are dead. But number 5, and perhaps most importantly, Elon, bad. Oh, wow, Elon is making a big move on X. Speculation, and this seems to be confirmed somewhat now. X might be expanding its policy to charge new users before they reply, like, bookmark a post. Previously, this was only active in New Zealand and the Philippines, and Elon Musk basically confirmed the news by replying to this. Unfortunately, a small fee for new user right access is the only way to curb the relentless onslaught of bots. Current AI and troll farms can pass "Are you a bot?" with ease. This is good news for $7,500 EV tax credits. North Carolina regulators have approved a state mining permit for a Tesla supplier to develop one of the largest US sources of the battery metal. Ugh. Rivian launched a new reliability scoring feature to make public EV charging easier. Well, Teslas don't need that because all superchargers basically just work. Yeah, Tesla superchargers don't need this feature. All of them are good. You just need to know the speed. I think Sasha has some good points here. Tesla's car business is not going anywhere. In fact, it is hugely important in the long term. I know a lot of single people living in their mom's basement in a big city think that robotaxis will mean nobody will own a car in the future. But fact is, most people don't live in their mom's basement in a big city. Your car is right there when you need it. You don't need to stare at an Uber-like screen to see when that robotaxi will turn up when you are already 10 minutes late. Your car has that all-important stash of quarters. I know, I don't think I even have a stash of quarters, but having kid stuff, a spare jacket, the box of whatever you need to drop off in 2 days' time, certain tools maybe, water, sunglasses, all of these things, some of them I like to keep in my car. Autonomous driving is going to fundamentally reshape our lives, but people will still own cars. People will still buy cars. I just think not as many. Full self driving is important as the combination of software and hardware that comes with that car, but FSD is not here to replace a car or make it redundant. It is here to make it a heck of a lot more useful. GM has released updated specs for its truck, which starts deliveries in a couple months. The range is 440 miles, so that's pretty decent. The price, though, $100,000. 350 kilowatt charging, so that's pretty good. Elon replied to this post actually 6 years and 9 days ago. Patron saint of the Tesla bears, Jim Chanos, went on CNBC to explain why he was shorting Tesla. Executive departures, stock has made no progress in years, earnings estimates falling, production problems, Tesla has nothing unique, the competition is coming, falling behind in autonomous technology. But of course, Tesla stock exploded, and Elon replies to that post with, very half decade or so, Tesla has to do a complete organizational overhaul to reach the next level. That said, Our executive tenure is unusually high at well over 10 years at Tesla. Ross Gerber is making quite a statement. Ali, no one on the Tesla board has resigned. Of course, they are ultimately responsible for the losses at Tesla. They are an illegal board according to the rules of the Nasdaq exchange and has been deemed as much by Delaware courts. They must be removed. I'm sure Ross Gerber would be happy to be on the board. Gary Black says, given the cluster caused by Reuters' FUD on Tesla robotaxi/compact timing, Elon can set the record straight on the next week's earnings call by saying there's no change in our thinking on timing of robotaxi and the compact. Both will be built off the same platform. Robotaxi development is being prioritized for 2025. Start of production and compact production will begin soon after, or something similar. Wall Street will applaud as long as there is no delay in the timing of compact delivery launch, which is currently expected in 2026. Unless FSD is super close to being safer than human driving, I would prefer Tesla to still at the same time pursue the next generation vehicle and sell that vehicle to regular people. But I am not Elon Musk, and I will let Elon Musk make that final ultimate decision. His track record is pretty strong. He does make mistakes sometimes, but in the end, it has always worked out for Elon big time.
Well, Brian, I think what's going on in the next, call it 2 to 4 quarters, is going to be a decline in the business. Maybe start with there. I think that this is a reaction in part to the EV demand that has absolutely hit the wall. Just look at Google Trends, type in your favorite EV, and look at how the amount of interest has declined. I think ultimately deliveries in 2024 for Tesla are going to be down 3%. The street's right now at plus 5%. That's come down since over the last few weeks. It's still too high. So I do think we are in a period here before what I believe will be in this period. This is the classic Gardner hype cycle. We're right now in the trough of disillusionment. And I think that we are going to return to growth because ultimately I believe electrification is just a more sensible way to move around and along with autonomy. And so I still believe that Tesla's a growth story, but not for the next year.
Okay. But how do you feel about $99 full self-driving?
I think that eventually, if you're somebody who's born today, is probably never going to drive a car. I think that if you look at the value on this, there's a piece where you can look at what the adoption is. If they get 20% adoption, I think that that can double their operating income by 2028. And so I think that it's not for everybody, but if 20% ultimately decide to do that. And separately, eventually all car companies, just for safety reasons, are going to have to get some form of autonomy. And it's unlikely, given what the investment cycle has been with these car companies, that they're going to be able to do it on their own. I suspect over time, Tesla will license some of that. Elon said he's open to that. That's a whole nother revenue piece that is not reflected.
I think Gene is definitely right to say that there's definitely someone born today who will never have to drive his or her own vehicle because of robotaxi and FSD. That's it for today's Tesla news, but I have a quick important channel update. The YouTube algorithm has definitely put my channel in some sort of penalty box. This video, despite having an incredibly high click-through rate, typically, by the way, a good click-through rate is about 10%. This one has 23.2%, and pretty decent watch time for my channel is about 9 minutes. This video had 12 minutes almost. I have never seen anything like this before. After uploading 1,000 videos, I'm hoping that it's a time-limited penalty. To help me get out of that penalty box, I will ask all of you guys to please click the like button. That will actually help a lot. I think YouTube has no issues if I upload a video and if I make it extremely clear in the thumbnail and the title that this is a different kind of video. I don't think YouTube penalizes channels for that, but if I add something to a Tesla video, I think that's where an issue arises. Even if the feedback is overwhelmingly positive, you can see that this video got 97.8% in terms of likes versus dislikes. And some people told me, well, the reason why YouTube is not recommending my channel anymore is because people just tuned out. But that's completely not true. You can see this retention graph, and actually, when I changed the subject away from Tesla, retention increased, making it pretty clear that people are actually really interested. Anyway, I'm going to create a separate channel for stuff that I talked about earlier. In the meantime, please click the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode. Thank you so much for watching.